It's a pleasant return. Thanks for joining us. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. And look, that Mariners series ended up going to Seattle, but Tim Anderson was outstanding.
There's no doubt that Tim Anderson came alive in that series in every aspect of the game. He ran the bases pretty well. He hit certainly very well. And he fielded also as well as he could field. But 3 straight multi-hit games, you would say that Anderson is starting to feel at the top of his game, and he's knocking at the door of 300. Plus factor in everything else he did in that series, and you'd have to think it was a very successful one for him. Here he shows you some jump. His basketball pass coming out, he hauls one in, and it was quite a play, and it certainly helped early in that ball game.
2 young pitchers on the mound, 25-year-old Jacob Junis, 23-year-old Lucas Giolito.
Lucas Giolito is just very happy that he can feel his fingers here in this one, because the last few times out he hasn't been able to, and it showed. He had no command of his breaking ball, and surprisingly, he had no command of his fastball. And I say surprisingly because last year in spring training, he dominated all 4 quadrants. Got everything over the plate. This year has been an exception. The numbers you're looking at from that game magnified by the numbers all year long. And Don Cooper coming out, he's done that a lot with Lucas. Lucas realizes that yesterday doesn't count, tomorrow isn't here. He's got today, and he's going to make the most of it. Last time out against Kansas City in no D, he didn't throw it great with 4 walks, but he threw it well enough to stay in the game. Jacob Junis has had a wonderful run at it this year. His ERA just over 2. We're seeing a fine young pitcher for Kansas City. Kansas City is struggling, so it's 2 teams right now treading water, and hopefully the Sox come out on top.
A couple days ago, Carson Fulmer bounced back very well for the Sox. See if Lucas Giolito can do it tonight in game number 1 of 5 here in Kansas City. You may remember opening day. Taters for everyone. Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson, Matt Davidson 3 times. Yes, 3 times. That was number 2. Tim 1 more time. A home run bonanza. See if the Sox can duplicate it after this. coming up as the Sox and Royals get together. Young team right now for the Sox. The oldest player in the lineup is under 30 with Jose Abreu out today. And we take a look at the farm report. It's brought to you by Guaranteed Rates. Some more young talent on the way to the White Sox. Michael Kopech once again was outstanding with Charlotte yesterday at Louisville. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts for Michael Kopech. So you never know when his call-up is going to happen, but we do expect that we'll see him at some point this season. Kopech once again very good. And then the most interesting team in minor league baseball happens to be the Sox A-ball affiliate in the Carolina League. 4 of the top 6 hitters in batting average play for Omar Vizquel's Dash, led by Joel Booker, Luis Basabe in the outfield with him, Rutherford, Adolfo. There aren't enough outfield spots for all the talent right now with the Dash. That's a 10-team league. 4 of the top 6 are playing for Winston-Salem in batting average. Sox and Royals, slather the sauce on. Grab some food. Stay with us tonight.
Places, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, Through It All, by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing, and by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
That's the little K beyond center field at the big K, Kauffman Stadium. Royals and Sox, game number 1 of 5 in this series after the snow out in game 3 of the season. So 5 in 4 days for the Sox to face Jacob Junis, 25-year-old. He is out of the state of Illinois, and he has been outstanding for Kansas City. He's really been the ace of this staff.
When you consider the 29th round draft pick, 2011, you realize that the draft is not an exact science. This is a guy who's very aggressive, especially in the strike zone. He's not overwhelming. He's a 4-pitch pitcher, but he will go right after you. And so far this year, he's been magnificent, following up last year. So take a look at the 4-seam fastballs. Last year, Johnny Cueto at the top, nobody hits him. And Junis right there at 208, that's a really paltry batting average against when you're with the likes of Max Scherzer, Carlos Martinez, and a number of other luminaries. You figure that you're getting it done. And this guy, from way down in the draft, the product of this Kansas City farm system, is getting it done once again this year. So he was a revelation last year. They didn't know how it would translate to this season. But for a bad ball club, he's doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, Kansas City comes into the day 5-17, a half game behind the Sox at 5-16. Sox Won 2 games here in the opening series, 14-7 in the first game of the season. You saw all the home runs the Sox hit, multi-homer games from Tim Anderson and Matt Davidson with 3, Tim with 2, and then game number 2 went the Sox way as well, 4-3 here at Kauffman Stadium. And now time for the starting lineup for the White Sox. It is brought to you by the Webb Auto Group, the best lineup of Chevys, Fords, Mitsubishis, Genesis, and Hyundais at the best price. Go to webcars.com. Moncada, Anderson, Sanchez, Jose Abreu still out with flu-like symptoms. Daniel Palka gets his second start, all the way down to Adam Engel batting ninth.
The defensive setup for the Royals presented by UI Health, and this is how Ned Yost is going to throw them out there with Gordon, Almonte, and Soler in the outfield. Moustakas, Escobar, Goins, and Duda in the infield. Salvi Perez back in the lineup, and he's always a force. And our Lexus experienced amazing starting pitcher. We told you about Jacob Junis. On for his 5th start, his ERA minuscule at 2.03. The 20 strikeouts and 26 2/3. 15 of those strikeouts are on the slider. So yes, he uses a 4-seam fastball, and yes, they don't square it up very well, but his slider is his put-away pitch, and when he needs a strikeout, that's what he's going to. The umpires for the game tonight: Jerry Lane, the crew chief behind the plate, Greg Gibson at first, Vic Carapazza at second, and king-size Jordan Baker is at third. So for the first time that I can remember this season, on a beautiful night for baseball, we're ready to kick off Sox baseball against the Kansas City Royals. At this point, it's a battle for the basement, but Kansas City has been to the pinnacle. They came a game from winning the World Series, only next year to win the World Series. It was a rebuild for them. It's a rebuild for the Sox. Kansas City has to do it again. Dayton Moore has done it before. The boys in gray tonight won in 2005. They're doing it with a completely different lineup now. And the man at the top, and we'll see if the advanced scouting reports precede him, because he jumps on first ball fastballs. Let's see if Junis goes to anything but the fastball.
Well, he did so yesterday. Yohan Moncada on the first pitch of the game powered a home run out off of Felix Hernandez. So Yohan now is only 80 away from Ricky Henderson's leadoff home run record. First pitch called a strike, and we are underway from Kauffman Stadium at 7:16. Jacob Junis, 17th in Major League Baseball in ERA, coming into the day at 2:03, as you saw. Moncada lines this ball to right field. Soler is back at the wall, and Moncada did it again. He's 79 away from Ricky Henderson, and if he keeps this up, he'll be done by the end of the season. My goodness.
That's home run number 6, RBI number 12. Yohan Moncada got one to his liking, and he got it down and in. Ford home run replay. It's a fastball. You throw a fastball down at your peril to Yohan Moncada, and he put a charge into it, a line drive rocket into the bullpen, just like that, 1-0.
Well, the scouting report had him as a first pitch swinger. The second pitch was lethal this time.
They're both fastballs, and the second of which went out of the ballpark. He's not likely to see any hittable down and in again.
You better believe the first couple pitches tomorrow from Danny Duffy are not going to look like fastballs. My goodness. And if they do, look out.
Talked with Ricky Renteria about that, and he says he just needs more reps from the right side. That's the only thing separating what he's doing now with what he will be doing. He just doesn't have that many right-handed at bats. He'll get some tomorrow.
Breaking ball just missed inside to Tim, who, as we showed you, had a mammoth series against the Mariners, as did Moncada. In every game, Tim Anderson had 2 hits. In the air, right-hand side. Duda gives way, and Soler makes the catch. But Yohan Moncada against Seattle had 5 hits in the series. They all went for extra bases, including his near cycle night in game number 1. He went triple-double homer to start the first game of that series. Never got the single, but he just torched the Mariners.
When you're the #1 prospect in baseball for a couple of years, as Yohan was, you can get it done. Just a matter of the at-bats, and that's what he's getting, and that's what he looks like at this point. He's nowhere near the finished product, but he's very good right now.
There's malice behind that grand smile. Yolmer batting third today. Nicky Delmonico was originally in the 3 spot, but Nicky came up with a neck injury that happened on his final swing in yesterday's game in the finale against Seattle.
We've seen Yolmer play everywhere. Now we're seeing him hit everywhere. He was a bottom part of the order hitter to start it out. Now we've seen him up at the top. Now we see him in an RBI spot.
To left field, Alex Gordon back from injury makes the catch, 2 down. You want to know what Jacob Junis is going to throw, don't you? Here they are. 4-seam fastball for the most part, slider, and then the curveball just a little bit, but he really ramped that up in his last start. That was a grand total of 14 curveballs. 14 of the 19 he's thrown this year came in his last start.
I think he's just trying to adjust, because as the advanced scouts get him and know his tendencies, he's going to have to make an adjustment to them. And he burst on the scene last year to the tune of a 9-3 record.
Wellington Castillo takes ball 1. Wellington, when the Sox were here last, had that big 2-run double in the 8th inning to give the Sox the win in game 2 to win the series. On the ground at third, they chant Moose as Mike Moustakas throws out Castillo, but Yo-Yo goes around the world, and the Sox have a 1-0 lead. Another rocket off his bat, 111 miles an hour. Sox lead early. Abraham Almonte, the journeyman. Moustakas, who has the Royals' career home run record for a season. Perez, Duda, Soler, Gordon, Goins, Escobar, your starting 9.
Defensive setup for our Sox, presented by UI Health. This is how Ricky throws them out there with Leury, Adam, and Trace in the outfield. Yolmer, Tim, Yoan, and Matt in the infield. Wellington Castillo gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus experienced amazing starting pitcher is Lucas Giolito. On for his 5th start, the numbers are ugly. 19 walks in 20 innings. We'll see today if Don Cooper, helping him a bit with some mechanics between starts, as pitching coaches usually do with pitchers, will help Lucas. But I think the thing that's going to help him most is the fact that he can feel his fingers today. You can feel the curveball. You can feel the changeup. The weather is perfect. He's in short sleeves. He looks comfortable, and hopefully today he will forget about everything that's happened to this point and take every pitch one at a time and string together a great outing.
First pitch temperature today was 67 degrees here at Kauffman Stadium. It feels like baseball finally.
Also feels like it's 100 after the weather that we've experienced, sitting here in no jacket temperatures.
Jay takes a strike, 1-1. John Jay at an even 250 today in batting average, slugging at 300, but his on base percentage, usually his greatest asset for Kansas City. 1-1. Hard hit. Moncada makes it look simple. 1 down.
It's always been amazing how much better defense you play, how much more into the game you are when you're hitting. And there's no doubt that Yuan is hitting. This is a one-hop rocket with overspin. And although he did move to the side, as you would expect, he was able to make the play. That's good hand-eye coordination and a very good play keeping it out of right field. That was a rocket. Yuan knows it.
Having a little chat with himself.
Well, Tim is also saying to him, way to stay in there. El Cordobas, who was a bullfighter, and that looked like an Olay, but he did make the play.
Had the nice Toro alley going down the right field line. You're familiar with that thanks to your time as a rodeo clown.
Oh, absolutely. It was, I tell you, it's a thankless job.
Almonte squares to bunt and then pulls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike from Giolito to Almonte.
You might remember Almonte because we saw him with Cleveland, and he had some very good moments with the Indians. Now he finds himself in a Royals uniform. This is a banged up Royals ball club, starting to get healthy. They got Perez back. Gordon is now back.
And Almonte is out. Davidson claims out number 2. Kansas City, a team that went on a 9-game losing streak, not immediately after, but after the Sox were in here for the first series of the season. This guy, though, is not the problem. Mike Moustakas, who's coming up right now.
Look at Ned Yost, and he realizes that his ball club is in a rebuilding mode. He's been through one of these before. He was in one of these in Milwaukee before he got the job here in Kansas City. He presided over the rebuild here, culminating in a World Series championship after getting tantalizingly close. Game number 7, 1 out away the year before. So they learned how to win, and then they actually did win.
Up and out from Giolito to Moustakas. 38 home runs last year, the most for a Kansas City Royal in any season.
There you look at the defense, and Moustakas is a dead pull hitter. So the defense accordingly. And Yuan very close to Davidson. They can pretty much shake hands at second and first. Lucas has good command of the off-speed pitch. This is the first time it's happened, and you have to believe that wearing the short sleeves, being able to feel the baseball, and he's gone out there tonight with supreme confidence. We saw it in spring training, one of the few guys they have a very good curveball in Arizona. We saw it last year when he dominated American League lineups late in the season.
That was what was so surprising about his start to this season, is how good he looked in spring training. As we take a look at what he features, Lucas Giolito, mostly 4-seam fastball, and you see the curve percentage in large part because he hasn't had the reins on it.
If you can't feel it, you can't throw it. If you can't throw it, you see 7%. When he did throw it, he couldn't hit with it. He hasn't broken it out yet, but I assume that he's going to feel pretty good about it. Let's see the first one right here.
On 1-2 to Moustakas. There was a breaking ball.
That was a good one. Moustakas just barely hit the top of the baseball. That's exactly where Lucas wanted to throw it. That was one that he broke down and into Moustakas. Probably thinking about trying to throw that ball in the dirt, but at this point he's getting a feel for it. And that's a good sign. That was the first one, and now it's a change up away. Let's see if he can get Moustakas to roll over on one to the right side.
That ball stayed up. Moustakas clubs it center field. Angle back at the warning track to make the play. It's a 1-2-3 inning that was touch and go for a moment. 1-0 Sox. And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Dunkerton Telephone in Dunkerton, Iowa, in Blackhawk County. Hello, Iowa.
I like Dunkerton, and I certainly like Iowa.
First pitch hunting. Daniel Polka, that's been his norm. He pops it up to Escobar. And one away. What do you like most about Dunkerton?
I like the name. I like Dunkerton. Plus, I like the folks here because I like Iowans, and I particularly like the breaded pork sandwiches. Excellent, by the way. So it's a culinary delight if you make your way through. Get it with a lot of gravy and a huge bun.
We love our fans in Iowa. Plentiful Sox fans in Iowa. Here's Matt Davidson, who has very happy memories of this ballpark.
You can still remember the line drives going out of the ballpark. Lucas Duda, the lone member of the Royals on the right side. Last time he was here, the slowest of the 3 home runs was 113.9 exit velocity. The other 2 were over 114.
Check swing, and he did go strike 3. 2 down very quickly as we set the menu of what you're going to see in our telecast this lovely evening. Sox history, a milestone way back in 1934. A rookie who is making a lot of hay in Major League Baseball already. And will Steve jump over a hurdle in our quiz about his own career?
You're talking about Clint Hurdle. Always had problems with him. He became a very good manager. He still is with Pittsburgh. He's got his Pirates at 14-11. And he particularly likes the way Javi Baez plays.
Wow. Here's Garcia.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Neither did Javi.
Yeah.
And now 0-2. Junis peppering the strike zone here in the second inning after throwing only 1 first pitch strike in the first.
He's not going to play around. He's going to come right at you. You're going to have to be ready because he throws a lot of 4-seam fastballs, and then when he wipes you out, it's not this high fastball normally. It's the slider that's probably forthcoming, and he'll want to break it down and in and see if Garcia will expand his strike zone. There's the slider.
There it was. He didn't expand. 2-2.
Lurie's got some pop from the left side, especially with that in mind. Soler is deep in right field, outfield straight away, infield playing him as a dead pull hitter.
2-2. There's the breaking ball closer to the hitting zone, and Junis with his second strikeout in a row. 1-2-3 inning.
Available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
1-0 Sox on a home run from Yoan Moncada to lead off the game. So back-to-back days with a leadoff homer for Yoan Moncada at age 22. Giolito fires in strike number 1 to Salvador Perez, back from his suitcase incident from just before day 1 of the season.
Throw something away to Salvi, and he will try to pull it and hopefully ground to the left side. When healthy, he's a big force in his lineup. He also takes command of the pitching staff. They're a better staff when he is catching. Although Buter is very good defensively, Salvi has got leadership all the way around and can put a charge into one on occasion.
On the ground left side, Tim Anderson for out number 1. Friday, May 4th, come see the Sox take on the Minnesota Twins, 7:10 p.m. All fans are invited to stay for a spectacular postgame fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. Buy your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866 Sox Game.
Got to be very careful with Duda early in the count with a fastball. Does have pretty good power, although we saw his only home run. Well, he's got 3 of them, and we saw 1 of them. He is also a dead pull hitter and can put a charge into it.
First pitch is up and out. This is one of the rare battles between Lucases that have ever happened in Major League Baseball. According to Baseball Reference, there have only been 11 Lucases, Lucas or Luke, in Major League Baseball. First name Lucas.
How many Dudas?
This is the only one that I know of.
There you go.
But I have some doubt about the Dudas.
Duda doubt?
Lucas being a contemporary name more than an older name, although there was a 1922 Washington Senators pitcher named Lucas Turk who pitched in 5 career games. Then we had a Lucas drought of 80 years.
Only because you don't know pop culture. The rifleman who played baseball for the Cubs was named Lucas. His name was Chuck Connors. His character was Lucas. Now, granted, that's a little obscure and not actually germane to the point. However, he was a Lucas.
Thank you for that derailment. 3-1. Just missed, ball 4. So Lucas Duda takes a 1-out walk and brings up Jorge Soler.
Blair came up with the Cubs and they thought he was going to be the next great outfielder, but then they got Jason Hayward, and paying him $184 million made Soler expendable. He came over to the Royals, where he has shown some patches of brilliance. Overall, the game still needs a little smoothing out, but he is very strong.
Ball 1 to Soler. 1 out, runner on. Kansas City came into tonight 27th in slugging percentage in Major League Baseball at .359. Soler is meant to be one of those power bats in this order.
Right now, pitchers have a big advantage. It is dusk. The lights have not taken over yet. And the hitters are going to see the ball better about 2 innings from now. Right now, the pitcher still has an advantage, especially if he can spin it at all. And Duda is not a base running threat. Guy missing from the lineup is Whit Merrifield, who always plays so very well against our Sox, getting the night off. And normally when he's in there, he makes something happen in any ball game that he plays against our ball club.
Yeah, he's a scary guy coming off the bench. Certainly the Sox with the 3 lefties in the bullpen, so you may see Whit Merrifield later on in the game. He was just 1 for 8 in their 2-game series with Milwaukee.
Also a .301 lifetime hitter against our Sox. But lately things have not been going very well. He normally has a high baseball acumen. He's having some problems on the bases on occasion, and so I think it has to do with playing him in different places. He's an excellent second baseman. Ned Yost has decided to play him everywhere. He's played him in the outfield, he's played him at first base, he's played him at second. Probably better to be anchor at second. There's a philosophy in baseball about just that. That is, you can platoon a lot of places, but it's best if you can keep the same shortstop and second baseman. They work as a team. They've got to turn double plays. They have to know with exactly what each other is going to do, where they're going to make the throw, what angles they can make that throw from, and it's better if they play together all the time. But when you platoon a second baseman, it doesn't do well for the shortstop, and in this case the second baseman, Merrifield, is suffering a bit.
Lucas's non-fastball stuff has been much better so far tonight, don't you think?
Well, yeah, because he's putting the fastball in the spot. So getting ahead with the fastball, it sets up the other pitches. For Lucas, like most pitchers, he pitches off the fastball. When he establishes the fastball, then the slider and curveball look that much better. And Soler's not seeing the slider. You might as well go with another one and strike him out here.
Two and two on Jorge Soler. Inside with a wayward fastball. 3-2. Those are good numbers against the Royals. 233. That includes his opening start of this season against Kansas City and that 4-3 Sox win. There's Alex Gordon, 34 years old now, the left-hander on deck. Three-two. That's ball 4 in the dirt. Back-to-back walks of Duda and Soler, and now Gordon with a chance.
Gordon just back off the DL. And the one sign that the Royals look for him to start turning it around is driving the ball to left center field. Engel is going to play him to pull in center field. But in the last series, he hit a couple of balls with authority to left center. When Alex Gordon is doing that, it means he's staying on the outside pitch and driving it. He's not lifting off and then popping it up to the left side. So if he continues to do that, things will get a whole lot better for him. And the Royals, who gave him a big contract to stop him from leaving to free agency, are hoping that it's sooner rather than later.
Left field side. And foul.
Gordon was a #1 draft pick out of Nebraska. Was a third baseman in those days. He was an excellent third baseman. He's turned it into a Gold Glove left fielder. He's got 4 of them. He's been a good solid player, and to his credit, all of these offensive struggles have not affected his glove 1 iota. So the concentration is still there. If anything, Gordon works too hard. He's tireless in the batting cage, and sometimes you reach the law of diminishing returns. Alex has probably done that, but he thinks he might be turning the corner.
Off-speed pitch fades away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gordon, who grew up a Midwestern kid. You may remember when he signed that long-term contract, there was some question as to whether or not he was going to come back to Kansas City. And he talked it over with his family when he finally decided that he was going to be a Royal again. His mom basically said, we knew he was going to come back. That's where his heart is, in the Midwest. Rope to right field. Trace Thompson is there. 2 down. Here's Ryan Goins, former 4th-round pick, who's now found his way into the Kansas City infield less than a month into this season. He's 6 out of 29 so far.
Goins is a fine defender who's had his problems offensively. Been able to pick it wherever he's gone, but he's had some trouble swinging the bat. This becomes a big out in the psyche of Lucas Giolito. He's walked a couple this inning, but he put it out of his mind, retiring Gordon. Now he's 1 out away from getting out of the inning and keeping the lead.
It's called a strike, so a positive turn there for Giolito as Goins is now 30 years old, former Toronto Blue Jay. 2 on and 2 out.
Jones was normally a platoon player. He didn't face too many lefties, but his glove played either way.
Breaking ball gets a swing and a miss. 0-2 from Giolito.
This is the short, quick Giolito curveball. Nice stop by Wellington, and there's no reason to throw a strike to Goins. He's in an 0-2 hole. He's hitting a little over 200. You get him out of the strike zone. Not much speed at second base, and the outfield fairly shallow, so a shot at Duda on a base hit.
Oh, 2. In the air, left field, Garcia. 2 walks don't hurt, and the inning's over. To the third we go. Moncada's home run holding up.
Tomorrow for your chance to win free tickets to an upcoming game. Learn more on NBCSportsChicago.com/free ticket Friday.
Sounds like a good deal.
It's a very good deal.
Trace Thompson leads off against Jacob Junis, and there is strike 1. 6 in a row retired by Junis after the home run from Moncada in the first.
A couple of good teams coming to town. Minnesota falling on hard times. They're still a good team, and they're coming 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th of May, and then Pittsburgh comes to town for 2, and they are very good. So nice attractions coming up.
Twins just had a lead slip away today to the Yankees. Gary Sanchez a walk-off homer against Fernando Rodney. The Twins have really fallen on hard times, but you'd imagine that they're going to be there at the end of the season. I mean, you'd imagine they would have some success this year with that retooled rotation and all the offensive talent.
If they don't, look for Brian Dozier to be moved. If they have a chance at the wild card or the division, Brian Dozier stays because he's going to be a free agent. And talking with Brian, certainly his heart has been with the Twins. However, he realizes that it's a business, and it doesn't appear that the Twins are going to be able to satisfy him contractually, although they're going to try, because he's a rare combination of speed, a lot of power, and a guy who can play defense and a gritty ball player. He's the guy you want on your ball club, and the Twins have him right now for the moment. You see they're 4 games back.
Well, there's an avenue for somebody if you win a lot of games in your division, just simply by the way the schedule is built right now. If you own your division, you have a very strong chance at being a wild card team. That's in there for strike three. Thompson punches out, and one away. Join us as the White Sox take on those Minnesota Twins Saturday, May 5th, 6:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans receive a Los White Sox soccer jersey presented by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. To buy tickets, visit whitesox.com. And if you are interested in what that Los White Sox jersey looks like, outside of the picture that was on your screen moments ago, Yolmer Sanchez was a wonderful model for it a couple of days ago on the White Sox Twitter account and White Sox website, doing some trick shots with a soccer ball.
Homer is a good soccer player and a terrific baseball player.
Adam got a face full of baseball dust.
Well, that's going to make that slider look that much better. And the infield is in, thinking that Adam might be thinking about pushing a bunt to the right side, because Duda will never beat him to the bag if he can get it there, but he hasn't shown bunt yet. So there's a slider. Let's see if he can go with it. That one he hung inside. That was not where he wanted it.
He's not burly, but he's certainly not slow.
No, he's pretty quick. He'll get it. He'll throw it. He just looks for the sign of Perez. And now he shakes him off. Perez wanted a slider away. Junis wanted a fastball, and Perez sat away. He wanted it in, and now let's see what he wants. Now it's a fastball away, and they both agree.
Adam pops it up. Duda, round number 2. You see the 1-0 score, and here is why.
Second ball fastball, and he puts a charge into it. 112.1 miles per hour. Launch angle at 24 degrees, which is a line drive. A very happy young man. 6 home runs, 12 driven in. And you would think that he would see something other than a fastball early. The last 4 games he's been brilliant. 3 solo homers, and leadoff hitters hit a lot of solo homers. 6 extra base hits, including tonight.
That ball smashed to left center field. And Moncada has the single and the home run. He's 2 for 2.
That's the mark of a very stubborn pitcher. Not a smart pitcher, but a very stubborn pitcher. He was content. He was going to get him on a fastball, only he was going to throw it away this time. It doesn't work very well. Yoan loves first ball fastballs, and he's seen 3 pitches. He's seen 3 fastballs. He's tattooed 2 of them and taken the other one.
I mean, is that just ego?
No, it's the fact that he felt, look, the first one, he felt maybe he didn't throw it away enough. He found out this time that even if you throw it away, if it is a fastball in the first pitch and it's a strike, probably going to be hit hard. Maybe he'd hit a line drive at somebody, but it was going to be hit hard.
Ball and a strike on Tim Anderson, who flied out to right in the first.
Can't tell because there's advanced scouts at every game, and everybody has the video of every at bat that every hitter has. And right now, they're storing it up. They're writing their reports. It's going into their respective clubs, and they're going to talk about fastballs to Yoan early in the count.
On a breaking ball away, Anderson rolls out. When we come back, we'll go around Major League Baseball with a family member of one of the Royals. The biggest debuts in Major League Baseball this season. Ronald Acuna Jr. with a single, his first Major League hit at Cincinnati, and then suddenly turns on the Jets and bolts around the bases to score the game-tying run. The Braves eventually won, and by the way, he had his first home run today.
It's pretty amazing. We talked about his debut yesterday. Suddenly 2 games later, he is a star. But look, I saw him in the Arizona Fall League. He was a star then. He was the MVP of the Arizona Fall League. He had 7 home runs. He drove in all kinds of runs, showed that there wasn't anything he couldn't do. The only part that was bad was he was a Brave.
This ball bobbled by Anderson. Escobar, who is Acuna's cousin, is over at first. And here is the long ball from Escobar's kin.
You could tell in the Arizona Fall League that this guy had all kinds of talent. He's got light tower power to go with great speed. There's not much he can't do. And when you're the number 2 prospect in baseball, you're that for a reason. For Acuna and the Braves, very happy this evening.
That was called an error on Anderson, deep in the hole at shortstop.
That was a terrible call. I'm going to leave it a hit and see if he comes to his senses.
Here's John Jay. And that is in there for a strike.
First of all, Escobar can run. You have to take that into consideration. Second of all, Anderson's going away from the play. Even if he catches it, he's got to take 2 steps. And then he's going to have to loop the ball over after planting suddenly. It's ordinary Major League effort determining an error. That would have been extraordinary Major League effort.
One ball, one strike on Jay.
Lucas trying to keep it on the ground, thinking about 2. Jay hits the ball well the opposite field. And no lead at first for Escobar.
Off speed for a swinging strike, 1 and 2. Here's the ball hit by Escobar.
So past the diving Yolmer, he has to backhand it, and even if he does, it's going to be a very difficult play. Normally when a third baseman dives and almost catches it, you got to figure the shortstop is ranging far to his right. Perhaps the official score will take a look at that.
Go to first. Well, the one positive is the no-hitter's still intact.
It's true.
We're barking up a different tree if we get into the 8th inning and the Royals don't have a hit.
And Lucas will not be around then, but yeah, it'd be terrific.
1 and 2. Runners off, ground ball up the middle, and did he touch the bag? He did. Tim spins and scores a double play. He had the ball, stopped the bag, 2 for the price of 1.
That's the athleticism of Tim Anderson, because he realized he had 1 shot. He was going to have to go to first if the swipe tag didn't work. We'll watch it again. Right back up the middle, the swipe tag, a good tag, the call by Vic Carapazza, the double play at the other end, and that helps out Lucas a lot. Now he gets jarred by that slide because Escobar was running. He got on top of Anderson before he could put the ball away, yet he kept the ball, did a 360 spin, and made the play at first. Fine play, young man. A very athletic shortstop is the man you were just looking at.
Yeah, beautiful tag. I thought at first he had gotten the bag, but he got the runner as well and nearly clipped the bag too. So 2 down, Almonte the batter, and there's ball 1.
Outfield straightaway, not overly deep.
A little bit high, 2-0. Almonte, a waiver claim already into the season this year. It was on April the 2nd that he joined up with the Royals.
Royals his 4th major league team in 5 years. Seattle, San Diego, and the Indians for parts of 3 years. I believe there was a bit of a suspension problem.
Yeah, there was a
Cleveland
season.
Indians.
There was a season where he was unable to play in the playoffs. 2016. Time called by Almonte.
Lucas, due to weather conditions, only thrown his curveball a little over 5% of the time on the first pitch this entire season. That will change as he gets a feel for it.
So far today, out of the first 41 pitches, 3 curveballs, 4 sliders, 9 changeups.
I like the changeup, and he's getting his rhythm out there in a couple of defining moments. The fly out by Goins to end the second after 2 walks, and that double play helped him in this inning. He's making good pitches, and his defense is helping him out.
Sharp breaking ball, missed, 3-2.
Just as soon it end here with Almonte. Throw with fastball middle away, let him lift it to left or left center field, and make sure Moustakas leads off next inning.
Payoff coming. Lashed foul left side.
With that fastball, did keep it away, but Almonte able to stay alive, and the ball boy makes a friend.
Sooner rather than later. Three and 2 from Giolito to Almonte. On a line, Trace Thompson makes the play for round number 3. 1-0 Sox. Error this. Polka coming up with Steve Stone, Jason Benetti, our entire crew here at Kauffman Stadium on a balmy evening in Kansas City.
Beautiful night, and Junis stayed away from Yomer last time. He's starting him off with the breaking ball.
And it's away for ball number 1. Jacob Junis from our state. He's from Rock Falls, Illinois, east of Iowa, west of Chicago by quite a ways. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I like the way he goes right at hitters. I like the fact that he moves and throws quickly. Gets the ball and throws it. Doesn't think too much. And is a very aggressive pitcher.
Rock Falls High School, where he's from, is the Rockets. And the only other major league player to come from Rock Falls High School, like Jacob Junis, was Gary Kolb. You remember Gary?
Yes.
Danny's cousin, former Milwaukee reliever among others. And Gary holds the distinction of being the pinch runner for Stan Musial after his final major league hit. There were a lot of them. He was a career .331 hitter, but Gary came in and pinch ran that September of 1963.
This is going to surprise you, but I have a story about Stan.
You do? We'll get to it after this ball goes to left. There it is, and here's the story.
A lot of people realize that Stan, a Hall of Fame hitter and maybe one of the best hitters of his era. A lot of people feel he was one of the best hitters in the National League, but what they didn't have a chance to do was go to his restaurant, Stan and Biggie's, and listen to him play the harmonica. I was able to do that. I think I was 4 years old at the time. No, I was actually a little bit older. I was playing at the time, and I went to hear him play the harmonica, which is pretty interesting because he was very good at it. He could hit, and he was musical.
It's actually musical.
And he was that too.
Just have to add a C.
And that's it.
It's musical.
Ah, the ever-present shift.
Breaking ball missed, according to Jerry Lane behind the plate.
That was a backup slider. When you're expecting the ball away, I think catchers expect it away, umpires on occasion expect it away, and then it backs up. You don't get the benefit of the call.
That ball's hammered by Castillo to left and gone. 2-0 Sox.
2 sliders in a row, the second of which didn't back up, but it just hung there like a piñata, and Wellington torched it. His 3rd home run, his 6th driven in, and just like that, it's 2-0, 2 solo blasts. Our 4th home run replay. Perez, for the 2nd time, wants it away. For the 2nd time, Junis hangs it inside, and this one leaves the park in a hurry.
That ball was demolished.
Hanging sliders go a long way, and that was one of those.
And with that home run, another generous donation from the Alex Nellius family in loving memory of Ursula. So Daniel Palka, whose parents Chuck Garfien interviewed during the series against Seattle. And his dad seemed a little bit underwhelmed by his son's first career RBI. And Daniel was laughing about it before the game today. He said, I think my folks were a little bit nervous. He goes, I was watching it, and I thought it was really funny that they were nervous.
I think what's going to happen, and not necessarily this about it, though, I'm getting a good feeling. He's going to get his first major league hit tonight. It's a question of staying right on Junis, who's been moving the ball in and out against him. If he looks away here, he's probably going to get a fastball there, but instead it's a breaking ball down. Nice check. Now a full count. We'll see if he does get that fastball away that he probably would like to turn into his first major league hit. Outfield straight away, so they're very deep in right field.
Sox up 2-0, and Wellington Castillo's home run just went rolling and rolling and rolling into the Sox bullpen, and maybe a keepsake for Hector and his cronies. 3-2. On the ground, second base, and Goins for the second out in the top of the 4th.
That was a high slider, and it's pretty tough for left-hand hitters to hit high sliders. But it was too close to take. It was actually in the zone. It was more of a hanger than anything else, and for Junis it proved effective.
Matt Davidson takes a breaking ball inside.
This is where Junis is starting to be very vulnerable because he's consistently hanging sliders.
That ball's drilled on a line, and it is deja vu for Matt Davidson. Another home run at Kauffman Stadium.
Home run number 6. He's now driven in 13. 4 of those 6 have come right here. And so Perez knows that he was hanging sliders, so he decides to throw a fastball. And he gets it up and middle in, and our 4th home run replay on a line drive rocket. that exit velocity has got to be around 114 or so. His home runs don't go high. They don't go that far, but they get out in a hurry.
Ground ball from Garcia, and that'll do it for the Sox. 2 home runs, though, in the inning. The Bears have chosen Roquan Smith from Georgia with the 8th overall pick of the draft. Lawrence Holmes and Alex Brown back in our Chicago studio to grade the pick. Lawrence.
The Bears' first-round pick, which you heard, and what you can see in the future rounds. The NFL Draft Central recap show tonight at 11 on NBC Sports Chicago.
I really like Roquan Smith. I'll leave it to them back in the studio, but he's a really good player.
Well, in a world where you can never have too many quality linebackers, it was a very good pick at 8. And congratulations to the Bears, and congratulations to Roquan.
Sox with 3 solo homers, so we asked the question at the top of the show, could the Sox duplicate what they did on opening day in this ballpark with all the home runs? And we're halfway there. Moncada snaps it up and throws too late.
Well, that's a tough play to get E6, but
I should say Anderson on the shift.
Yeah. At any rate, a good effort by Tim Anderson. I would think that would be ruled a base hit. We'll take another look at it with the shift. It's right back up the middle. No chance for anybody but Anderson. And no chance for him to get Moustakas, who will get a rare infield hit.
Leadoff single is the only hit of the ball game so far. Not in Steve's book, but.
Yep.
Here's Salvador Perez. Foul ball, third base side.
There is such a thing as an ideal man for 2. It's Salvi. Being a catcher, he doesn't run particularly well. Shorts, the hamstrings have a tendency to get shorter as you move along. And speed was never a part of his game, but he is very strong. Perez has only been to bat 9 times. He's grounded into 1 double play.
High in the sky, first base side. Davidson has room and makes the catch. Here's your Sox math question for tonight. Hashtag Sox math on Twitter. First correct answer wins a prize from the road. Number of games the Sox won in Kansas City in March multiplied by games in this series. Divide leadoff home runs Yoan Moncada has in his career. Hint, it just changed. And then add the number of major league teams other than these 2 that Bo played for. That's your Sox math question for tonight. Hashtag Sox math on Twitter. First correct answer wins the prize from the road. Could be anything.
You and I are going to the Negro Leagues Hall of Fame tomorrow morning, and it could very well be we'll bring something back.
Or you could just get a napkin from the press box.
I was thinking about a cheeseburger, and we'll see what is available See what we can bring back.
It is a we're gonna have a great time tomorrow. Tim Anderson and his family are gonna bring some folks from Chicago who are flying in to go see the Negro League Museum here in Kansas City. We will report back with visuals tomorrow on our telecast from here at Kauffman Stadium.
Should be a whole lot of fun and very educational. Looking forward to it. Had a chance to meet and talk many times with Buck O'Neill. Very nice man. Of course, double duty Radcliffe was around Chicago quite a bit.
Sox have the game for amateurs named after him at Guaranteed Rate Field every year, the Double Duty Classic.
One guy would have loved to have met but never had a chance to was Satchel Paige, who was still pitching in the major leagues in excess of 60 years old. Nobody knew just how old he was, but they did know that he could still throw strikes. That was amazing. I think 6-1 with the 48 Indians, and Lord knows how old he was at that point.
3-1 from Giolito to Duda, who walked in the second inning. Ricky Renteria, some signs for his team. Giolito, good sign, 10 swinging strikes so far out of 52 pitches tonight. 3-1. Towering fly ball into left. Garcia is there to make the catch. No tag from Moustakas. Your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your home team throughout the season and the official mortgage provider of the Chicago White Sox. Get started today at rate.com. Here's Soler. He was one of 2 walks in the second inning. Off speed for a big swing by Soler.
Just as soon keep that changeup away, but it was very effective as Soler looking fastball was well out in front, but left nothing to the imagination with that swing.
Another breaking ball. 1-1 on Jorge Soler. Hit well left field. Garcia back at the warning track. And it's gone. Kansas City is on the board. Sox still have the lead, 3-2.
Fourth home run, RBIs 11 and 12, and it's a 1-run game. So Jorge Soler picked on a fastball. Lucas wanted to get it up and in. He got it up. It's not in quite enough. Soler pulls the hands in, and the Ford home run replay. It's a towering fly ball into the bullpen.
Well, the Sox still do maintain the lead as Gordon comes up. All the runs on homers so far in this game.
Gordon was trying to do what he should do. Yolmer was back at third base. He's the only man on the left side of the infield. You might as well lay it down and get a cheap base hit. But the ball was up and out of the strike zone. Now Yolmer is very close to the cut of the grass and moving in with the pitch.
It's a good pitch, 1-1. Gordon couldn't pull the trigger.
Just a beautiful night here and no wind whatsoever.
Mentioned the swinging strikes for Giolito so far in this game in double figures. The reason that's important, in his first 4 starts, he only had 28 swinging strikes in total, an average of 7 per game, 8% of the time. So that number that he has tonight is already larger than the average for his first 4 starts. Rolled wide of first, 2-2.
For the most part, he's kept a whole lot of pitches in the zone or near the zone. He did have the 2 walks in the second inning, and that's been it as far as control issues are concerned. And for the most part, he has stayed ahead.
Two and two. Gordon did not come to the final conclusion that he needed to swing, so 3-2.
And Goins in the on-deck circle. Gordon hit the ball hard the first time up, and he pulled it. Again, not a sign yet that his stroke is entirely grooved. When it is, he will drive the ball to left center field.
3-2. On the ground, right side. Moncada is there. Giolito covers. Score at 4-1, and the inning's over. Soler's home run draws the Royals closer. You experience TV with Xfinity X1. Sox are up 3-2. 3 solo homers. Moncada, Castillo, and Davidson. Matt and Wellington reprising their extra base heroics from series number 1 in Kansas City.
It's a very live ballpark tonight, although some of those line drives would have gone out at any time. But you could tell by Soler's home run, it was a towering fly ball. With the wind blowing at all, it probably knocks it down.
That ball is hit well by Trace Thompson. Almonte at the wall, and Thompson gets it up and out of here. 4th solo home run tonight for the Sox.
Told you about a very lively ballpark, and that it is. When you take it just to the right of center field in this ballpark, you know the ball is jumping. We've got some heat. It was 67 at game time, and the ball is flying out of here. So the second home run, the second run driven in, our 4th home run replay. And it's a fastball, and it's gone. Trace Thompson putting a charge into it. Trace getting an opportunity to play. And I think that's all this young man needs. An opportunity to play with Avi on the DL. Trace Thompson taking over every day in right field and making the most of it.
Now a bunt from Adam Engel, and a good one if it stays fair. It doesn't.
We talked about it last time, and Adam Engel trying to get the job done, trying to break out of this malaise, and did a good job of it. That's a push bunt to the right side. What you want to do is make sure that Duda fields it. If you can pull him wide of the bag then you can certainly beat Junis to the bag and Duda would have no chance. But that time the ball trickled off the grass and into foul territory. So good idea, just maybe a few inches on the wrong side of the line.
Jake Junis had allowed 6 earned runs all year in his first 4 starts on 3 homers. Tonight, 4 home runs, 4 earned runs. Though he still does have that sleek glove.
Good glove.
0-2. Wonder if it's the glove that he used during the pitch, hit, and run contest he was a part of back in 2003. Major League Baseball does its equivalent of what the NFL did for a long time, punt, pass, and kick. And Junis participated well before he was a major league player. Moustakas with a one-hop rocket, and Duda surfs up. Nice catch.
Moustakas is having a good year defensively, and here he is saved by his first baseman. This is a tough pick. Duda very happy with that one. So is Moustakas. Adam Engel is out, but not for the heroics of the first baseman.
So here's Yohan Moncada, who's 2 for 2 with a homer and a single. And strike 1 taken. Moncada now with 14 career home runs, 5 of them, and do with this what you will, shower your friends with trivia, 5 of his 14 homers have come in scoreless ties. Whatever that may be worth to you. No go on the swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss for strike 3 as Junis goes away from the fastball. 2 down in the inning. Here's your winner for Sox Math. It is a returning champion. It's Mike Ganella. 2 games here in March in the Sox win column. 5 games in this series. That's 10 divided by 2 leadoff homers for Moncada plus the Angels, Bo Jackson's other team. Very briefly at the end of his career, other than the Royals and White Sox, answer 6. A lot of correct answers. Mike Ganella was first. 2 down. Tim Anderson takes ball 1.
Tim Anderson hit a couple of home runs opening day, and he's waiting for that fastball middle in, as he's seen the ball fly out of here. And Tim is a pretty strong guy. He's not going to hit that slider out.
One and 1 from Junis. Slider on the inside corner, 1-2. Junis has peppered the inside corner with sliders to right-handers tonight, rather unintentionally.
Yeah, a lot of them were meant to go away. He's going to try to throw a fastball in.
He gets the call. Tim punches out looking. It was 3 home runs until Trace came to the plate. Then it was 4. A blast just right of center. 4-2 Sox. football season chugs along with the Sox leading 4-2. Lucas Giolito in charge of the game for the Sox with Ryan Goins coming up to take a fastball, ball one. Your assessment so far of Giolito tonight?
He looks a lot more comfortable out there in shirt sleeves and feels like he can get everything over the plate. But for one pitch to Soler, he didn't get inside quite enough. It's been a fine performance, and he does have a 4-2 lead, and at the end, that's all you have to have.
Doesn't even have to be 4-2.
Nope. He's thrown real well, and this is one guy you don't want to walk because Goins does not have that potent a bat. Leary Garcia toward the line in left field, which is where Goins will go on a pitch away.
Up and out, 3-0. Giolito very quickly took care of Goins last time. There is Escobar, who's on deck. 3-1.
Just throwing middle away here, nothing fancy, just another fastball, and Goins will lift it to the left side for you.
Got him to swing and miss. 3-2.
Expanded his zone, should be at first, and he's not.
Three and two. Lined right of center, up the alleyway. And we'll see what kind of speed Goins has. He turns into second. It's a leadoff double.
He got his fastball and he got it down. It was out over the plate, but not away quite enough, and Goins puts a charge into it. He hits this ball right on the butt. Mangle does a nice job getting to it. These are spacious dimensions in the alleys here. It's a good triples ballpark, and he holds Goins at second base. Escobar, who normally will hit the ball to right field, in a situation where he should be hitting it to right field.
Behind that 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
He was trying to take it the other way, so the thought process was good.
It's pitch number 70 coming up for Giolito tonight. Bunt foul, 0-2, and that was not exactly mechanically sound.
No, he bunted in the right spot, though. If you're going to bunt it, you want to bunt it at Yomer.
Goins at second, still nobody out. Batter number 2 of the 5th inning. Alcides Escobar. Breaking ball inside to the man who currently is the reigning Iron Man in Major League Baseball. This is 356th consecutive start.
In this day and age, that's pretty impressive. Cal Ripken, however, is not ready to give up the throne quite yet.
Yeah, give it a decade or so or more. Talk about records that we were joking about Ricky Henderson earlier with those 81 leadoff homers in his career. Likely never to be broken, but Cal's streak is pretty airtight, you'd have to imagine. Escobar does get Goins over. One down. Let's take a look at what Lucas Giolito did last year. The beginning of the season was not kind to him. His first 6 starts, he had a 7.31 ERA. and a walks and hits per inning pitched of nearly 2. Everything dropped in the final 18 starts, and then he eventually made his way up to Chicago, where he was quite good.
Probably felt the turning point was a 7-inning no-hitter. After he threw that, things started to click for him, and when he came to Chicago, that first half, Lucas at AAA was not in evidence at all.
Tapped on the ground, and this will not get a run home. Beautiful play on the infield by Anderson.
They're going to want to look at that again. I'm pretty sure that he tagged him high on the body, and we'll have to check and see if the legs got in. Hopefully he did get him, and that ball was hit off the end of the bat. Lucas was not able to field it up the middle. It was squibbed off the end of the bat, and we'll see if they will ask Jerry Lane to take a look. The squibber, and Lucas is pulled off the mound to the first base side, and here comes Tim Anderson with the throw. The throw gets there. Watch the leg. Boy, that's really close, but he tagged him on the waist. Watch the foot. The foot is down and over the plate as he gets tagged on the waist, and apparently they're saying that he did get him. Throw a pitch.
Now Goins cut down at the plate, and no review. I'm with you.
That's amazing to me. I can't believe they didn't take a look at it. I'm very happy they didn't, and the score stays 4-2 on the 6-2 put out.
Two down, runner at first. Pressure alleviated here in the 5th. On a play like that, every step counts.
Well, he didn't go because he felt that Lucas might make the play. So watch it here. He hesitates just an instant. If he's running with the crack of the bat, if it's a contact play, he's in easily. Now, as it is, he hesitates, the ball gets by, then he takes off. And again, I think it's worth a review because he tagged him on the waist with his foot apparently on the plate, but it didn't happen, and so it's a very enjoyable result.
Yeah, what's really interesting is each team has a dedicated video review steward, essentially, sitting watching monitors behind the scenes and can make the phone call and say, go ahead and challenge that. That said, you only really get a couple looks at it. I mean, it's about 30 seconds that you're afforded. The rule says 30, but sometimes it's a little hit or miss. And I don't know. That seems like one of those plays. If you're on the fence, you use your challenge.
I would think so. It's a huge play in the game, and it goes Lucas's and the Sox way.
That said, there is value to having the challenge for later in the game, but the final couple innings, you can, if you're out of challenges, ask the crew chief to review. He doesn't have to, so the value decreases as the innings go on of that challenge. If you could redeem your challenge for a run at the end of the game, there'd be fewer of them.
That's true. Monty got his fastball, but it was just wide of the plate. He expanded his zone and fouled it back.
You know what? Come to think of it, what if you decided that a challenge, if you don't use it, could be worth a base runner in inning number 7?
Yeah, that's not a good idea, but certainly it's an idea.
I'm an idea man.
Oh no, you can bring somebody from the stands to run the bases and start him at third if you want, but
just a thought. 3-2. Called strike 3. Almonte discarded. He's disappointed. Sox lead 4-2. runs scored on a home run at Kauffman Launching Pad tonight. Thanks for joining us. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. Our entire crew, Keon and Jim and Dave and everybody in the truck, and our captive audience here in the booth as well. 0-1 is on the corner, called a strike to Sanchez, who's flied out to left twice against Jacob Junis, Rock Falls High School. On the ground, Escobar has to hurry. Out the call. This will be close and worth a second look. Looked like he got him. We'll see.
Dude is very good at first base, and he's shown a couple of big picks tonight. So we'll watch it again. Yomer hustling down the line. Escobar with the off-balance throw, Duda with the pick, and it looked like he got him by an eyelash.
Seems as though no challenge is coming from the Sox dugout. And Mike Kashersky videos are.
No, he was out on that one.
Cash, the nicest man in sports, taking care of all the video needs for the White Sox, and he was out here loosening up. Mike Kashersky, who we had on the broadcast during spring training, he was out by the third base dugout loosening up earlier today, and he pointed back near the screen and he said, "Have you seen my brother?" And I looked over. I didn't see anybody that looked like his family, and he kind of had a wry smile on his face. And then one of the security guards walked through the dugout. I turned, and this guy is a dead ringer for Cash. It's like his long lost brother is on security detail at the Big K.
Was his name Javi? Because I thought that's not Javi, that's his brother. So did it have anything to do with it?
I mean, he ain't Javi.
Yes.
1-2 on Castillo, who very quickly becomes the eldest statesman in this lineup at 31.
Pretty interesting. You take Jose Abreu out of the lineup. You take Javi Garcia out of the lineup. You find a lineup that doesn't have a lot of thunder. Now you find 4 home runs later, all of a sudden everybody else has some thunder, picking up the slack. And Jose is out with flu-like symptoms. Next time I get the flu, I'll also describe it as flu-like symptoms. But I think they're one and the same, aren't they?
Typically, yes,
yeah.
They are. Sprained ankle-like symptoms.
There is Yoan.
Reading the ingredients.
Well, he's trying to figure out if there's any flu-like symptoms in that packet.
High fructose corn syrup.
Because Jose is right over his shoulder.
No, it's 20% of your sodium intake. What's one serving? 3-2. Have you ever seen more focus from a couple major players?
They were intense.
Now it's broken. Although, I wonder if flu-like symptoms are contagious. The flu is, but are flu-like symptoms?
I hope not. Yoan's playing too well.
Ball 4. Steve, did you say home runs?
Is this a collage of home runs?
Everyone deserves a montage.
It's our Xfinity high-speed action replays, and it is the aforementioned home run. Hanging sliders, a few misplaced fastballs, fastball that wasn't misplaced but went out like a laser, and then a fastball that went to the deepest part of the ballpark, and that is right center field. That's a blast off the bat of Trace Thompson, so he's hit 2 in a White Sox uniform.
Daniel Palka takes ball number 1. 11 homers in 3 games this year at Kauffman Stadium. 2016 basically could have closed this place up and everybody on the south side of Chicago would have cheered. There would have been ticker tape coming from the sky as Castillo gets into second base. And now suddenly this is a park that feels like home for the Sox.
It's very lively here. Opening day, the first couple games played, the one that was snowed out wasn't inviting, but the boys took advantage of it. And this is where Daniel is looking for his first major league hit. He's ahead 2-0 to a pitcher who throws strikes. Odds are he's going to throw you a strike here. The outfield is straight away. The only thing is, on this slider, will he throw it for a strike?
He did. It's 2-1.
It's a backdoor breaking ball, and you don't swing at a slider 2-0 if you're looking fastball. You would think that Daniel would have been. Over anxious, Daniel Polka that time expanded his zone and swung at something well out of the zone.
Castillo at second, one down. And the dirt. Perez is on this one. Second straight full count for Polka.
Salvi picked it, but that's not recommended because most catchers don't have hands like that. Normally you want to move over and block it, but Salvi just picked it one hop out of the dirt and picked it well.
3-2. Chopper back to the mound. Junis throws out Polka. Sox fans, join us as the White Sox take on the Twins Thursday, May 3rd, 7:10 p.m. First 10,000 fans get Bill Melton's face on their t-shirt. It's presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. It's a beautiful Bill Melton themed t-shirt. Get your tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Two Sox fans taking in this first of 5 in Kansas City. Second trip in, we have seen ample Sox fans just at lunch, at dinner here in Kansas City. A lot of Sox fans have made the trip the first 2 times through.
Well, if they looked ahead to the weather, they realized that this was the time to come here. And also, it's a great city. There's a lot of things to do. At the Truman Museum downtown, you have the Negro Leagues Museum, which Jason and I will go to tomorrow. Got some wonderful barbecue. There's some great restaurants here. It's a nice city. It's very close to everything. All the entertainment is in the district we happen to be staying in. And then you have the plaza, which is outstanding and has been for years. So Sox fans come down here because it's a comfortable place to watch baseball in a beautiful ballpark.
Easy trip, an hour by plane. You can get here by car without taxing yourself too much.
And this park is one of the older parks that looks basically new. They keep on making improvements, they keep changing it, but the structure was so good when it was built that it holds up well, and this is just a nice, comfortable place to play baseball. Normally it was a pitcher's park. You'd never know it by the Sox of this year.
And they've eliminated that turf that burned your feet off.
That wasn't too good, no. I remember losing 10 pounds in a game in St. Louis on July 4th. It was very similar to this. The weather conditions ideal for roasting a turkey. That's about it.
Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Davidson.
Another hanging slider, but St. Louis had the same artificial surface as here in Kansas City and a hanging slider. Salvi wants it away, and he tries to bring it down. That was well caught by Perez, but he couldn't sell the call to Jerry Lane.
In the dirt and through the 5-hole. Castillo to third on some strife from his counterpart.
We told you that Salvi was not blocking the ball well, and could very well be that the knee problem is still plaguing him. He's just back off the DL with a knee issue, and normally he doesn't let that ball get by him, but it did. It trickled away. A couple of wild pitches in this sequence, and another insurance run just 90 feet away.
Junis at 90 pitches on this payoff for Davidson, who homered last time.
Perez wanted a slider, but Junis does not have confidence in that slider tonight because he's been hanging so many of them that he decided to go with a fastball away. We will look in at Perez. will tell you what signal he will hang. 90-second pitch on the way. That's a fastball away. And let's see if Matt can go that way.
Wrapped foul. So you were in St. Louis. I don't think you finished.
Well,
you said the turkey.
It was 135 down on the artificial surface, and I lost 10 pounds. And that's pretty standard. That's exactly what happened. Same thing would happen here because the weather is almost identical during the summertime, and they did have the artificial surface. Neither place does, and we will be going to St. Louis.
Coming up next.
Yep.
3-2. Davidson cranks it again. Matt Davidson one more time. Splash down to left field.
And that's why Junis did not want to throw the slider. He threw 2 fastballs away because he was pitching away from his slider because he's been hanging it. And there he hung another one, and Matt Davidson, with his second home run of the night, he's driven in 3. He got a hanging slider and didn't miss it. Our Ford home run replay, the hanging slider is right there, once again hanging like a piñata and gone. Junis having all kinds of problems, whether they're backing up or just rolling over the middle of the zone. It's been a very bad pitch for him tonight. Coming in, 15 of his 20 strikeouts were on sliders. Tonight, at least 3 of the 5 home runs have been hanging sliders.
450 feet for Matt Davidson, the new mayor of Kansas City.
Only 5 home runs here in 2 games. That's not too bad.
The votes are in, and the ballot box is broken.
Apparently he likes a hitting background here.
My goodness. I know somebody who's going to want to tape a podcast this weekend. 2 balls and a strike on Garcia.
Still haven't told me where I can see that.
Same place where you can use your radio telestrator.
Brian Flynn listening in the bullpen. Talking to Greg Sparks about staying back and making sure you keep that ball fair. And that one, a no-doubter, is hung right over the middle of the plate.
There's some scary power in those California arms.
7 and 15 on the power numbers. We're going to go to St. Louis, and Matt Davidson's going to stay here and hit some more.
Ball 4. Sox will play the Royals a bunch. I mean, talking 19 games this year, so never know, but people have had good seasons thriving on one team's pitching. And don't know that he knows exactly how to put a mouth guard in, but he can do everything else.
Killing a little time at the mound. Salvi Perez saying, look, you're at 99 pitches, and that's going to be it for you. We're going to wait till your host, Ned Yost, walks out, and he's going to make a call to the pen. Disappointing night for a man that's had a terrific year. Junis has thrown it very well up until tonight, where he ran into a buzzsaw, so he'll walk off. We'll step out. Be back after these messages.
bullpen, which has been a solid, if not spectacular, part of their run in recent years, has failed them this season. A 7.15 ERA, a couple of Rule 5 draft picks, a couple of rookies in that bullpen, and we'll see what they can provide today in the 6th inning. Junis is out, and Steve, you have a call to the pen.
Time now for the Lakeside Bank call to the pen. It's about time. And we'll watch it again as Flynn comes into the ball game. That's Brian Flynn on for the 8th time.
Left-hander out of Wichita State. Throws on to first at Garcia, who walked with 2 down. So Junis is done after 5 2/3. He didn't give up that many hits considering the runs on the board. Only 6 hits in the game, but 5 were homers. One to this guy, Trace Thompson.
One of those nights where every mistake he made, Sox jumped on. Some of the hanging sliders just stayed inside, so they were taken, but the hanging sliders that hit any part of the plate went out of the park, as did a few of the fastballs. But I still like the young man, and he's got a chance to be a good one.
Trace unloads deep to left field. Gordon is back at the warning track as he makes the catch against the AL East scores. But Matt Davidson continues to pelt the locals beyond the fence at Kauffman Stadium. 6-2. This one takes a drink. (6-2) Sox with the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thanks for joining us with my amiable partner Steve Stone, Jason Benetti along with you, our entire crew here from Kauffman Stadium. This pitch is lined down the left field side, and a base hit.
That was when you have to watch Lucas, only because he hasn't been around for the 6th too often. And even though he's only at 80 pitches, he's got a 4-run lead. He's going through the middle of the order. And this is going to prove to be a difficult spot for him, 3rd time through the order. So Moustakas on the first pitch collects his 6th double of the year. That fastball was down the middle, and Moustakas with an inside-out swing. Tries to pull that. He pulls it right into the shift. As it turns out, it's a 2-base hit.
So the penalty right now in Major League Baseball for leaving a pitcher in the 3rd time through the order in terms of batting average is about 35 points. So the 2nd time you face somebody, the league average is 239. The 3rd time it's 276. The slugging percentage jumps about 80 points from 394 to 472 on the average facing a guy for the third time. So it's across the league that this is happening.
Well, look, I think probably later in the year, third time through wouldn't be a problem for Lucas, because I think he's going to be one of those guys that averages over 6 innings per start. But in the early going, he's had command issues. He hasn't had those issues tonight. It's been a very nice outing for him. Third time through, the Royals have seen what he's trying to do with him, and now Lucas will have to adjust within the adjustment he made coming forth to this outing.
Playoff lives have been either kept going or ended based on decisions like this. Certainly not in April, but
no, I do believe that obviously when you get later in the season, the decision kind of makes itself. At this point, it's early enough where there's nothing critical can happen at this point. And that one was absolutely roped. Jirschele almost got a head burger for his efforts, and he's well down the line out of the coach's box. And that was a rocket right over his head.
Ball and 2 strikes on Perez. Moustakas at second, nobody out, 6th inning. Some people would argue that no matter when in the season, and I'm not saying it's always right across the board, but the stats suggest no matter where you are in the season, you are better off going to your bullpen rather than third or fourth time through the order, all other things equal.
I don't think you want to make everybody 5-inning pitchers. I think some pitchers are infinitely qualified to go deeper in the game, like Justin Verlander. Talk to him about leaving after 5.
Line to left, it doesn't hang up long enough, and Moustakas is into third. Perez singles him over there, and Lucas Duda comes up with the tying run still on deck now for the Royals.
2 out, nobody on. Third time through the order. Off the end of the bat, Perez didn't hit this ball hard, but he hit it in a good spot. He is strong enough to get this one out in front of Lurie. Here comes Don Cooper, if nothing else but to give that bullpen a chance to get loose and to calm down his talented young starter, who's having the best game by far this year.
Hey, Sox fans, book your group of 25 people in the CIBC Fan Box. The Fan Box is the only suite located on the lower level concourse behind section 134. It provides the benefits of lower level sight lines with the luxury of a premium suite. It's a great place to watch a game. 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
One of the things that Don Cooper, I'm sure, left Lucas with is, look, forget about Moustakas at third base. He doesn't exist. Throw a double play ground ball to Duda. You'll still have a 3-run lead. So the bullpen is up and going. And it's a couple of lefties after Soler, who's coming to bat after Duda. A big out right here, one way or the other. Infield playing him to pull. They're looking for 2. Tim's going to be the pivot man at second base on a ground ball to the right side.
A little bit low to start Duda.
10 up and going. It is Luis Avilan.
High pop up on the infield. That is good news. Sanchez there to make the catch for out number 1. So Jorge Soler coming up, and the Sox certainly still thinking about Danny Farquhar. They have some new shirts that they were wearing in batting practice that say "Pray for 43" on them. Ricky Renteria giving some more positive news in his pregame press conference about Danny Farquhar and the fact that he's gotten to walk around a little bit with his wife Lexi and his family at the hospital. So the Sox still thinking about the pitcher who got the win in Game 2 of the season here in Kansas City.
And all the news has been positive moving forward, and hopefully that continues.
Jorge Soler still has not made an out, so he's due to make 2.
I think one way or the other, this would be it for Lucas. You got left-handed Gordon and Goins up next. All ready to deliver pitch number 90. It'll be a changeup. Let's see if he can get Soler to roll over on it.
Too far inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Lucas's max pitches so far this year in one outing was 103. That was in his 6 1/3, his longest outing at Minnesota back on the 12th. 5 1/3 so far tonight. After the missed changeup, where does he go?
Another change and keep it away this time.
In for a strike.
Good pitch, perfect spot, 79 miles an hour, and Soler could not pull the trigger. Infante has joined Avilan. Another off-speed pitch away. Probably a slider. That's
Swing
it.
and a miss. This is the stuff that we saw last year.
Yeah, he made a couple of very good pitches. See 92.
Two balls, 2 strikes. He got him for strike 3. So 2 down in the inning, 2 on. And we will see if it is Avilan.
Steady diet of changeups and sliders. Perfect pitch. Freezes Soler looking for a fastball. He's still looking for a fastball as he walks back to the dugout.
Let me revise what I said earlier about the swinging strikes. It is 8 swinging strikes for Giolito, 16 called strikes so far tonight, but still a larger number than we've seen in his previous outings. So Ricky Renteria comes out of the dugout. 2 down, 2 on. And Avilan is on his way. Giolito in line for the victory. 2 left on. Luis Avilan coming out of the bullpen.
Keep it a 6-2 game. There you look at the numbers on for the 11th time, so he's been a busy man. 5 walks and 6 2/3. He hasn't had great command of that curveball, and he's going to need it against Gordon. Alex Gordon 0 for 2. And as Giolito came out, he had a talk with James Shields. James wearing the hood tonight, despite 67-degree temperatures, and talking to Giolito about his best performance of the year. Regardless of the resolution of this at bat, Lucas was very good tonight. Just those 2 walks in the second, and the control was good besides that.
Breaking ball, strike 1 from Avilan to Alex Gordon, who's 0 for 2. So for Giolito, grand total of 93 pitches. 41 were fastballs. 25 changeups in the game for Lucas Giolito.
He had a good feel for that tonight.
Again, 8 swinging strikes, 16 called strikes officially for Giolito, and the average fastball at 92 this evening.
Well, you can tell how good he felt because he handled Soler very well. After Soler hit a 2-run home run on an inside fastball, the last time up he gave him nothing to hit. Sliders and changeups. Changeups set up the at-bat. A slider got him to 2 strikes, and then he froze him with a straight change for strike 3. Big out in the game and turned it over to Avilan.
First year in a Sox jersey, Luis Avilan. 2-1. On the ground, certainly playable. Yohan throws him out, and 2 stranded for Kansas City. Avilan gets the out. Giolito preserves the 6-2 score.
Danny Duffy in Game 2 of the Sox-Royals series. Coverage begins at 7, and you can stream the game on the NBC Sports app.
Sure can. 7:15 once again, the start time. And we hope you can join us for that. Sox hope to be going for 2 in a row against Kansas City. Flynn to Engel. Adam takes just off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. If you joined us late, first of all, what were you doing? And then second of all, you missed Yohan Moncada's leadoff homer. Seriously, what are you doing? He's got a leadoff homer in back-to-back games. Then 2 homers in the 4th, Castillo and Davidson. Thompson in the 5th, and Davidson again in the 6th.
There's a couple of very happy men. The author of 5 home runs in this ballpark, Matt Davidson on the right, and Trace Thompson with a bomb to left. In fact, Rex Hudler came in the booth. He is the analyst on the television side with Ryan Lefevre. He said that is big boy country. Opposite field, almost into the third row of the hitting background in right center field. That's a blast from a right-hand hitter.
To left field, Gordon gets there. Out number 1. Let's quiz Steve on his own career or some of the players that were part of it. It's called Sticks and Stone, and here is your question for today.
I'll say Clint Hurdle.
No, Clint Hurdle was 7 for 12 against you.
Yeah, that's terrible.
He signed a letter of intent to play at which college?
I wish he would have gone there. I'll say, well, he always had a good tan, so I'll say, well, it could be Miami or Florida or NC State because it's very warm there. It's one of those 3. I know that for sure. I'll tell you what, I'll say, this is just a random guess. I'll say Miami.
You will?
Yeah.
What drew you to Miami?
Well, the tan, the Hurdle tan that he sported so very well. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, by the way. A much ballyhooed young player. Good hitter that I could never get out. And he's made a very good manager with the Buccos.
Maybe we can have a Sticks and Stone in person where you and Clint Hurdle talk about how he went 7 for 12 against you.
Or maybe not. How about somebody that got out?
Well, I mean, the Pirates happen to be coming up on the schedule.
And yeah, well, a couple of Hall of Famers aren't around anymore. One of them I got out all the time.
Who's that?
Tough to interview. Willie Stargell.
Sticks and Stone goes ruthless again. On the ground, Moncada can fly. Will he get there in time? Drop! Moncada's safe.
Let's see if they can make that one into an error here. Oh, it is a base hit. Wow, way to go. Yoan with a base hit, his 3rd of the night. That's amazing. Great speed. Sniffing a base hit all the way. Even if Flynn hangs on to it, he's not going to get him at first. This is a tough play to make. Good coordination between Duda and Flynn. For a left-hander, it's just as difficult, maybe more so, because he falls off the mound to the third base side. And with the glove flip, a pitcher can't really detect where it's coming from. So the ball eludes him, and Moncada's got a base hit.
3-hit day for Yoan Moncada, including the home run to lead off the game. Ain't no sarcasm like official scorer sarcasm.
Now he's up to 267, started at 244.
Ball to Tim Anderson, who's 0 for 3 on the day. The number that will likely stand out in his career, you'd imagine, just very early with Yoan Moncada, is going to be the slugging percentage.
Yeah, it's going to be otherworldly.
The average may dip at times. It may fluctuate. Strikeouts are there, certainly. But the slugging percentage will likely be the indicator more than the average of what he's doing for your team.
Well, so he's going to get a whole lot of hits because his exit velocity is going to be among the best in baseball year after year. It doesn't matter right or left-handed. He's equally as strong from both sides of the plate. Normally, if a switch hitter is a natural right-hand hitter, and we'll watch this one develop.
4-6, 2-3. No save. Tim beat it out.
Good hustle by Tim Anderson, prevented the double play. It's a very good play by Goins, who's a magician with the glove. Escobar across to Duda, and they can't get him at first. So says Greg Gibson. This is a good effort, but Tim just hustling a bit too much. But a natural right-hand hitter, when he goes to swing from the left side, he's got more power as a left-hander normally than a right-hander, and they're going to take another look at it. We'll see.
They're going to challenge this one. Sox have not used their challenge so far in the game, so Jerry Lane and his crew will talk to New York.
He was called safe at first, so there has to be clear and convincing and positive and beyond a doubt and no shadow left unturned proof.
So the question that I offer to you is, why would the Royals challenge this and not the one at the plate?
See, because it's 6-2 now. This becomes a big play. Actually, they should have challenged the one at the plate, but they didn't. And the big board in the sky here says he was out at first base. Let's see what they say in New York. We'll check it again as Escobar flashes across the bag. He's got a strong arm. It is very close. And the Royals are walking off the field. But there is no resolution in New York.
I think it'd be very difficult to overturn, but that's just me. It is an out. So, successful challenge for Kansas City. 6-2, your score. Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. We were talking about Rex Hudler earlier. He and Ryan Lefevre, the very talented TV announcer duo for Kansas City. It's a charity auction night for Kansas City as well. Here you see the Kansas City Royals charity shirts. And being auctioned right now is dinner with those two. So $8 the going price.
And second prize is 2 dinners with those two.
For $6.
Dinner with George Brett is going to bring a bundle, you would assume. That's one of the items.
What a player he was.
Of course, if in fact, you introduced me to the noise canceling earphones, as you look at number 5, the retired number, the Hall of Famer, George Brett. What a player. And what an interesting personality. He's now an executive with the ball club, helping Dayton Moore in reassembling what was a championship ball club, and they're hoping will be in the not too distant future. But Sox a little bit further along in the development as far as young prospects are concerned.
Yeah, it's an interesting division right now, considering the Sox pulling the trigger on the rebuild within the past couple of years. And there are a few teams that are kind of in the middle right now, like Kansas City and like Detroit.
Now Minnesota, under Paul Molitor's becoming better and better. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's going to be a wonderful manager. He's very good now. That team is interesting because if they do indeed lose Brian Dozier, that's a big factor. Now they've got Nick Gordon, who is one of the top prospects, and he's been waiting to come up. That spot ostensibly is going to be his. He just can't do what Dozier does.
Yeah, this will get through. Goins has a couple of hits. And look, Kansas City is very familiar with a downturn, but also the uptick in recent memory that led to the World Series championship. 0-4-12. They were last at a 4.08 clip. 9 losing seasons, no trips to the playoffs, tied for 8th from 13 to 17. 2 trips to the postseason, 1 World Series title, and tied for 8th. So they're getting a little spoiled here in Kansas City, certainly with all the winning in recent memory. as the Sox will go to the bullpen one more time. Goins is on in a 6-2 game as Rondon comes out.
And he inherits Goins at first base. Nobody out on for the 7th time. He's 1-0. His ERA a robust 7.04. That's largely in one bad outing. But 12 strikeouts and 7 2/3. He's been getting his slider over the plate. When he does, right-handers don't do much with it.
Bruce will face the 9-hitter first, Alcides Escobar. Four of those 6 earned runs in that one outing you were talking about against the Astros during the last homestand. 96 at the knees.
He's got another 3 miles an hour hiding in there somewhere.
Boy, Escobar went down to golf that ball into the air and angles underneath. Here's your answer to Sticks and Stone. Your guess was Miami on the place where Clint Hurdle signed a letter of intent to go play college ball, and it's correct.
How about that? So the guy pummels me, and I have a 33% chance of getting it right and do.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And, by the way, John Jay, who's standing at the plate, went to Miami.
How ironic that is. Huh?
What a tie-in. He also signed the Treaty of Paris,
which was, in the grand scheme of things, a good treaty. I particularly like the Treaty of Versailles better. The Treaty of Paris is okay.
Goins at first, 1 out. And fouled away, 0-2. Bruce is all over the strike zone so far.
Jay has not had the ball out of the infield so far, including a very big play in the 5th inning. Goins had doubled to lead off the inning, and then Tim Anderson cut him down on the plate in a play that was not looked at in video replay. So they played on. El Monte struck out looking to get Lucas out of the 5th. Nice block by Castillo. That was a slider digging into the dirt. He didn't try to catch it. He just tried to smother it. And he did it successfully. This is a very good block. Good technique. See, bring the elbows in. That's the key. You bring the elbows in, making sure it can't get by. You angle the body. The ball trickles in front, and no advancement of the base runner. Well done, Wellington.
One, two. Fouled away to the Royals dugout.
Isn't it a pleasure to watch a ball game and not be shivering?
Really is.
Beautiful night here.
67 degrees at game time. One, two. He got him with a fastball at 98 upstairs, 2 away. That was the fast pitch of the game, and it's powered by Xfinity, America's best internet service provider.
A lot of life on that fastball. Seemingly rising away from Jay. Actually, it doesn't tumble as much as most pitches. Doesn't actually rise, so says the scientists. Hitters would differ with you. However, they do know one thing: you cannot catch up to it upstairs if you can't lay off it.
Scientists also say that you get an extra couple miles an hour, at least visually, from high fastballs.
There's no doubt. It's just harder to catch up. You have much more time, seemingly, to drop the head of the bat on a low fastball at 98 than you do on a face-high fastball at 98.
Almonte was a little miffed last time. He struck out looking, and he didn't like the call. It's his job to put it out of his mind. We'll see if he does. Check swing, ball low.
There is Jordan Baker, the tallest of all the umpires in the league.
It's from East Egg, right?
One of the foggiest.
2 balls and no strikes on Almonte. Well struck into center field. Goins stopping at second. Here comes Moustakas.
This is their chance to get back in the ball game. Moustakas, who had 38 home runs last year, has 7 this year. And he thought free agent riches awaited him as Don Cooper on the phone to the pen. Find out if the pen is ready to go. And I believe Kurt Hassler is answering in the affirmative.
Moustakas.
Yes, he
swing.
did.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely, he swung. Umps in the stands didn't like it, but he absolutely swung at that. Watch it again. Watch his hands. He goes out, and that's way too far. That's not even close to not swinging.
Almonte at first, Goins at second. Moustakas tags it to left field. Garcia is under it, and that will do it for the 7th inning. Royals have stranded 7. And under the lights in Kansas City, the Sox lead 6-2. According to Baseball Reference, Al Simmons got his 2,000th career hit April 26, 1934. However, other sources suggest he got number 2,000 on the 22nd rather than the 26th. More sources than not say the 26th is the correct answer, but what we do know is that Al played in 4 World Series and hit 329 combined in those World Series. They used to call him Bucket Foot Al because of his batting stance. His foot was so much facing third base that the phrase "put your foot in the bucket" was coined at that time, and so they called him Bucket Foot Al. Al Simmons. Three-time All-Star Al Simmons, and some luminaries around him back in 1933 at the All-Star game at Comiskey Park. Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth. That's good company.
You might notice no logo on the Yankee uniform.
Isn't that pretty?
It's different.
I like it.
Well, we'll have one made up for you.
Thank you.
Nondescript pinstripe uniform with 3 on the back and 4 on the other back.
Thank you. That one's through the infield, a base hit for Sanchez. Leadoff man on for the Sox. And that's for Noah, Yolmer's son, who is an avid Mickey Mouse viewer.
Average baseball player too, because when we're walking out all the time, he has a bat. Mom throws him a ball and he whacks it around the tunnel.
Noah can swing the stick.
Yeah, he can. It's as tall as Yolmer now. What is he, 3? 2.5?
Now.
That was a large little fellow.
Yolmer had a shirt on today before the game that said 2 rules for bunting. Number 1, don't bunt. Number 2, hit a dinger. Look, he's in the 3-hole today. You got to think big, right?
Absolutely. He's seen him. Look, he's 1 for 2. No, he's 0 for 3. 1 for 4. That's it. I figured I'd get it right eventually. That's where he is.
The new sponsor of Sticks and Stones, Steve's random number generator.
There it is. Well, I was late to this particular inning, and I just see that he has a base hit.
Ball and a strike on Castillo, as Yolmer is now on a 6-game hit streak for the Sox, standing at first. I suggest a Halloween costume for this coming October. You get your kid a batting helmet with the side flap, goggles, and Mickey Mouse ears, and you go as Yolmer Sanchez.
Nice.
You like it?
Depends on where you're costuming at.
The local trick-or-treat run through the neighborhood. 3-1. To the moon in foul territory. Duda overran it.
Ball always spins back toward the field of play, and sometimes, just occasionally, a good defensive first baseman, and Duda is that, gets fooled by it. It certainly wasn't the winds, as the flags are limp atop the pole, and Duda getting too close to the dugout. That should be E3. But with the scorekeeper here, it'll be no play on a ball that was really easily caught.
Three and 2 on Castillo, who scored 2 runs. Center field, Almonte. One gone in the top of the 8th. White Sox games are better with a group. Group events are perfect for clients or employees celebrating or fundraising. Bring your group out for specially priced tickets and a great experience. Never too early to start planning your summer outing. For more information, 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. There is so much to do now at Guaranteed Rate Field. You bring your group, they have a good time, have some wonderful food. Maybe join the kids club with Southpaw out in left field up at the Xfinity Fundamentals.
You can learn a whole lot up there also. Not just being entertained by Southpaw, but you can run the bases, you can hit, you can throw. Great place to watch baseball. And you can probably find a snack or two if you look around closely.
Daniel Polka in search of that first major league hit.
I keep thinking he's going to get the first hit tonight. He had good matchups against Junis. Now he's got to get it against the left-hander.
You know, Polka, a couple of years ago in advanced A-ball, he's a big guy, but 2015 he stole 24 bases. There's some speed in that body.
Right now he's going to get a fastball. There's no way that Flynn wants to walk him, so this is where the lefty advantage evens out. You don't have to look slider, because if you get it, just don't swing at it. He had one pitch to play with, and you zone hit. It's going to be a fastball. It's going to be away. Perez wants a sinker. Let's see if he can go down and get it.
Called a strike, pinpoint to the corner, 3-2. Matt Davidson, who has a chance for a 3-homer night for the second time in this ballpark this year. He'll get at least one more at bat in this game.
Unless the unthinkable double play would happen. I want to see Matt hit one more time at least. And he would roll over, and I want to see him with runners on. He is a run producer. He certainly has shown it tonight.
Three-two. On the ground. And only one.
Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite hold true moment. We'll take you back to opening day. The boys are wearing black. Matt Davidson is pounding the baseball everywhere and getting it out with rapid dispatch. But he's not content to settle for that. He comes here tonight wearing gray. Another laser, and then a bomb on a slider. 5 hit tonight. Matt has 2 of them. And here he is one more time. And for him, doesn't matter where the runner is, he's in scoring position.
That's inside, and it got him. So Matt's going to go on to first. And Garcia scheduled to hit.
Before Matt could hit him, he hits him in the right foot.
Matt decided to get rid of the beard the other day, and now he's into full scruff mode. Many faces of Matt Davidson. Garcia. First pitch hunting. Moustakis unleashes a line drive. We'll hear from Chuck Garfien when we come back. Sox with a 4-run lead.
Nate Jones comes in the ball game for the 9th time. He's 1-0. Look at those numbers. 11 strikeouts and 8 2/3, a 1-0 record. He does have a save in his one attempt. His ERA trickling over 1. He's got to deal with the heart of the order. And his job is simply the 8th and turn it over to Soria for the 9th, you would expect. And hopefully in a non-save situation because it's a 4-run game.
Perez takes a ball. He's 1 for 3. Salvador Perez was very happy to see the Brewers in town over the past couple of days. His old buddy Lorenzo Cain was here. And they had a press conference for Cain, one of the highly thought of players who was part of the 2015 World Series team. And Mike Swanson, the longtime PR guy here in Kansas City, Swanee as they call him, was kind enough to tip off Salvi that press conference was going to happen. So this ball's laced into center. You can shift wherever you want. That's going to end up in the outfield. So it's a leadoff single. Anyway, Salvi Perez crashed the press conference, took a bunch of pictures, had his phone out for selfies with Lorenzo Cain, and then basically told Cain that he talks too much. In jest, of course.
Good player, however.
Yes.
Cain started with Milwaukee, came here to Kansas City for quite some time, member of everything here, and then back to Milwaukee. By the way, if you're wondering why our Chuck was on tape, it's because they have so much going in the studio with the football draft tonight and all the evaluation and everybody who's going to become a Bear. He was there with all the guys, and it is a very busy studio this evening.
Ozzy and Layla are also playing Parcheesi in one corner of it.
He should get hazard pay.
Ball's rocked foul right side. I would believe that Ozzy Guillen playing board games against somebody would actually draw really nice ratings for NBC Sports Chicago. Ozzy and Doug Lanville playing Risk. Ozzy and Bill Melton playing backgammon.
Ozzy and Harriet playing what?
Battleship.
Oh, okay. That's good.
F6, Ozzy. No. 0-2.
Infield playing due to the pull. And Nate looking for that elusive ground ball.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That was a no contest. Duda doused by Nate and one away.
Good slider down and in, and he gets him. This one explodes down and in, and Duda swung at a pitch that was off the plate when it left Nate's hands, and just getting further away.
Jorge Soler. His 2-run homer, the only offense tonight for Kansas City. Sox and Royals game number 1 of a 5-game series in 4 days. Tomorrow, Reynaldo Lopez and Danny Duffy get together. Lopez, a 1.50 ERA. He's just been tremendous for the Sox so far this year. Line to left by Soler. And only one base because Leori Garcia got there so quickly down the line. Perez couldn't advance past second.
Nice play by Lurie as he drifted to the ball. He's got a strong arm. They're not going to run at him, especially 4 runs down. And Nate in a jam.
Alex Gordon's grounded out to the right side twice. He's lined out to right field. Everything has gone to the pull side so far tonight for Gordon. Up high with a slider, and now Wellington Castillo goes out to the mound.
Let's take a look at Verizon projected starters for the upcoming series, and this is tomorrow's game. Reynaldo Lopez against Danny Duffy. A couple of quality pitchers off the tough starts. The difference is Lopez's ERA is 1.50, Duffy's is 5.26. Strikeouts very similar, walks very similar. Opponent's batting average very much in the favor of Lopez. Should be an interesting ball game tomorrow night.
.1-0 for Gordon. He's downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Tying run on deck right now for the Royals, who've lost a runner at the plate already tonight. That's Ryan Goins, who was thrown out in the 5th at home. The Royals have stranded 5 in the last 3 innings. Only baseball game left tonight in the majors. The Sox and the Royals. There have been 10 games played today, 6 decided by 1 run. Sox trying to avoid that, certainly.
This becomes one of the key outs of the ball game because you don't get Gordon. Now you open the bench up to Ned Yost. He's got some possibilities coming off that bench. Gordon hit the ball hard the first time up.
And he gets hit this time. Bases loaded, 1 out. Those options you were talking about are all right-handed. That's the good news. Merrifield, Cuthbert, and Butera. Ryan Goins, the lefty, is scheduled here, and he will watch as Don Cooper goes to the mound.
Tried a slider, and that was right on the knee for Gordon. So didn't exactly take one for the club, but on a slider that was chasing him out of the batter's box, he got hit and loads him up.
So Goins is a lefty. Escobar next is a right-hander and certainly is not the most dangerous offensive weapon in this lineup. But Ned Yost has an affinity for Escobar. He's batted at the top of the lineup in the past, and we'll see if Nate can get a double play ball and not have to worry about that 9 spot, but you do think that Merrifield might be an option.
Merrifield, to me, with a .301 lifetime batting average against the Sox, has always given the boys some trouble. Now, being a starter most every day, Merrifield does not have a pinch hitting opportunity. Jay does have a pinch hit, but he's playing in this one. So there's some inexperience as far as pinch hitting on the bench. But again, Merrifield has been very good, and with the bases loaded, so has Ryan Goins over the course of his career.
Nate Jones to Ryan Goins. First pitch called a ball.
Not the best call of the night by Jerry Lane. But watch it again, and I think Wellington Castillo is talking to him about it. This ball has a whole plate, and Wellington brings it down, and Jerry just wasn't buying it.
1-0. That one is outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Bases full of Royals. Decent speed at first base.
Two 2-0. Check swing, he went.
Well, there's a break because that one was way out of the zone, and Goins could not check his swing.
By the way, if you're wondering what the value is of that first pitch being a strike or a ball in any sequence, on base percentage in the league jumps 111 points from 0-1 to 1-0.
Especially with the bases loaded, that's a big call that wasn't gotten.
Fouled away. All Nate can do is jump back on the horse, and he has. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's the same result regardless of what that first pitch was called, because the foul ball makes the count even, and now the pitcher swings with the advantage.
Perez at third, Soler at second, Gordon at first. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nate Jones in the dirt, 3-2. Sox have led all the way through tonight. From pitch number 2 of this game, a Yohan Moncada home run. Trying to hang on. Time called by Goins. What's your pitch here?
Nate loves the slider. If he feels he can get over the plate, it's a good time for it. That looked like it was fastball away, and I think Nate is shaking to the slider.
On 3-2. In the air, first base side, foul territory. 2 down.
Big pitch. Big pitch by Nate Jones. He went to his comfort pitch, and that's a slider. Doesn't have to do a whole lot. Just keep it off the center of the bat. And it moves ever so slightly at the end. Goins pops it straight up. Now you got to dodge the Escobar bullet and get out of the inning.
He does have 1 grand slam. First pitch, line to center. Angle charges, 1 is home, and they'll stop Soler at third. It's 6-3.
Wellington fires to third base. They got Soler hung out to dry, because as that ball got to Wellington, Soler is on the grass, prone on the grass. Watch it again. Adam Engel does a nice job of getting to it. Makes a good solid throw, and Soler slips. Jersley holds him up, and he's laying on the grass. And no throw. Wellington didn't want to risk throwing it into left field, but you see he's down. Fortunate to get back with no play.
You see Yomer's face. He knew that he had a shot.
He had him.
John Jay. First pitch, hunting, grounds it foul. 3 hits and a hit batter in the inning. Nothing in 2.
Now a lot of pressure falls to Wellington because the pitch to get him on is that slider down and in. So you got between the face-high fastball and the slider down and in, you got 2 choices. The safest pitch is the high fastball, but the best pitch is a slider down and in.
That ball had a lot of the plate.
Through the slider, it just didn't bite. Unfortunately, Jay fouled it off.
Lucas Giolito got the Sox through 5 2/3. Nate Jones in the bullpen trying to cinch up a victory in the series opener. Nothing in 2. High. Everybody's feeling the pressure.
Young man cannot bear to look. Rally clap, rally cap, sunglasses, and a rally clap. Here's a slider. Let's see if he can bury it.
Upstairs, strike 3. Nate extinguishes the rally. And sad kids.
And a heartbreaking occurrence for a Royals fan.
Sorry, buddy.
Adversity.
In the building behind the fountains. Sox with home runs galore, 5 of them this lovely evening in Kansas City, and deeper into the bullpen for the Royals.
Now we'll meet the new pitcher. It's hard throwing Kelvin Herrera. As you can see so far, nothing. 4 for 4 in saves. He is their closer, on for the 9th time. Is Ned Yost wanting to buy an inning with his closer to keep him sharp in case there's a game that he's got to nail down.
He has been on an unwanted furlough for the season, with not a whole lot to close out for Kansas City.
But when he has, he's been very good. The stuff was always there. He was a great setup man, and the only question was, Could he handle the pressure of the last outs of the game? Throwing anywhere from 97 to 100 miles an hour, which he has. They figured that Trace is going to pull it. And I'm not sure if he's going to do that on the Herrera fastball. So if he's looking away, he's going to get something out there. Joakim Soria. Joakim Soria. Both of those guys listening up.
He's got 2 for the price of 1. 2 balls and a strike on Thompson. It's high into the night sky. And out number 1. Fans experience Levy Restaurant's fine dining while enjoying a breathtaking view of Guaranteed Rate Field from the Huntington Bank Stadium Club. Memberships are available to season ticket holders, and it's also perfect for non-game day events, including weddings and corporate parties. Don't go to sleep. I'm not finished yet. For more information regarding the Huntington Bank Stadium Club, please call 312-674-1000. 1000. Wake up.
He's on the edge of her seat. He's on the edge of his seat.
Yeah, it's more like it. 1 down, ground ball and through. So the right side quarantine doesn't go well for batter number 2. Adam Engel is 1 for 4. Here's Yohan Moncada, who's got 3 hits in this game. He was an extra base machine with 5 extra base hits in the Mariners series. And that slugging percentage up to .570. We showed you the number that Joe Sheehan tweeted over the weekend about this being the first month in Major League history with more strikeouts than hits, very likely. And I think that speaks to the top criticism you'll hear of Yohan Moncada is that he strikes out too much, and there is a high strikeout rate, but the trade-off with that has become for him, especially recently, massive power.
And look, a .347 on base percentage coming in and improving tonight. It's not too bad for a 22-year-old who still doesn't understand what Major League pitchers are trying to do with him. They do know one thing, and they've seen it pointed out graphically. When you do make a mistake with a fastball, he's going to hit it very hard. This is the ultimate challenge because he's going to get a fastball.
How about tonight, right? The Sox are without Jose Abreu and Nicky Delmonico in the lineup.
And Avi Garcia's on the DL, so that's 3 of the starting lineup that's not available.
In power positions as well. And what you get is 5 home runs.
That's why it's a beautiful game, because you can't predict it. There is no form sheet. You think you know what's going to happen, or you think a decimated ball club can't possibly rise up and show power. That's not the case. Carson Fulmer off a fine performance with Nicky Delmonico off a sore neck.
His last swing of the game yesterday got him sore. Runners off, pitches high. And it's a stolen base for Adam Engel, his 3rd.
Heads up base running because Herrera is so slow to the plate. Salvi Perez is very good at throwing it, but this time on the transfer, he didn't throw it wisely because he couldn't get him. He got too big a jump, and for Salvi, the only thing he thought, can't get him at second, the only thing I can do is throw it into center field, so why throw it? And now he goes out and he has a word with Herrera because you need a different set of signs, and whether he goes with just signs or flaps, which is touching the mask or each shoulder. But he told him what he wanted him to throw, so there is no sign for this pitch.
It's called strike 3. Moncada didn't like it. It was very close to the zone, and 2 down.
Tough to frame a pitch when you don't catch the ball, and normally you don't get the benefit of that call. But Jerry Lane on a borderline pitch rung up you on. So we move on.
Two-out angle at second. And Tim Anderson. Sox will face the 2-3-4 hitters in the bottom of the ninth, as Soler gets toward the line to retire the side. Sox need 3 outs. 6-3 lead. Joakim Soria, come on down.
He walked a couple men in 1 inning. He had some defensive help. Great play by Tim Anderson, a 6-3 double play on the tag. And coming home again, Tim Anderson, a defensive highlight reel tonight. He cut down Goins at the plate. Lucas went 5 2/3 with a couple of runs on 5 hits, and he was brilliant, in line to win if Soria can nail it down. So it's been Giolito, Avilan, Rodon with a really good inning. Nate Jones getting out of a jam, and Soria coming on for the 9th time, looking for his 3rd save in 4 attempts.
'206 career saves for Joakim Soria. That's 7th active. Opponents hitting .222 against him career.
There was a time when his stuff was just about as good as anybody's around. These days, he's doing it because he's been around a long time and he knows how to pitch.
0-2 from Soria to Almonte.
Career-wise, lifetime ERA, mostly in the American League, of .286. 162 career saves with the Royals, but that ERA is special, especially in this day and age of baseball.
In the air left side, Sanchez, Anderson, Tim overran it. Foul ball. Still 2 strikes.
That was no play as Tim hustling, realizing that there was no way Yomer was going to be able to make that play. It's just too difficult. And Tim flashing, getting a shot, and just overrunning it.
Well, Tim said on that ball he jumped for yesterday, he felt like he was back on the basketball court dunking. There, that was a fast break where the lead pass ended up on the baseline out of bounds.
Made a good effort, just couldn't come up with it.
Nothing in 2. Soria to Almonte. Down the right field line toward the corner, and a fair ball, 1 hop to the wall. Almonte scoots into second. Leadoff man aboard for Kansas City in the 9th.
Give major league hitters one more chance when he should have been out, and Normally something like this happens. A two-base hit to lead it off. Slow hook, and Almonte waited back for it and just hooked it down the line.
Good news is Moustakas, the worst he could do to you here is 6-5. Ball one. These next two guys, though, know Soria as well as anybody, especially Salvador Perez. He's caught his stuff for years.
He does that. But it's different stuff these days. Now he's doing it with a lot of craft and guile, and again, he knows how to get it done.
Moustakas is not on the prowl for walks this year. He's got 4 of them. Kansas City is not a patient team overall, so there's some danger wrapped in this 2-0 pitch. He hacks it foul, 2-1.
Well, from the standpoint of Moustakas, a couple of things. First of all, he is the run producer in the middle of that lineup, and the only left-handed run producer on a regular basis they have. Also, he's a free agent after this year. He came back for a 1-year contract at roughly a third or so of what the initial offer was had he taken the qualifying offer. But he's auditioning for 29 other teams if the Royals don't want to keep him around, and he realizes he's not going to get paid because of walks.
2-1. First base side. Davidson flags it down. Soria's over. Almonte up to third. Sox will trade that one down.
Nice play by Matt, because that one had a lot of overspin on it. It took a high kick. He realized you just think about one. You don't care about anything else. Just keep recording the outs. Good effort. Gets it to Soria in time, and from a pitching standpoint, you want it about 5 feet, 7 feet in front of the bag so you can right the ship and touch the outside part of the bag with your right foot. You trade the fly out for the run here easily, or the ground out for the run as the infield is back all the way around.
Scary part here is Duda, who's on deck, is a one-swing glory kind of guy. He has some power in that left-handed bat. You would rather him not be the tying run.
You get Soler coming up after Duda, and Soler has swung the bat probably better than any of the Royals tonight. So there's some danger here in the 9th inning.
That's a strike. 1-1 to Perez from Soria. Former battery mates in a big spot. Almonte at third, 1 down. Fastball at 93.
Casilla wanted it inside, and Soria just reached back, got about everything he's had in a fastball. 93 miles an hour is about it. He didn't get it inside, but he did throw it by Perez. And again, just coming back off the deal, that stroke is not as grooved as it will be 2-3 weeks from now. Hopefully, Soria can take advantage of it. Yes,
He
sir.
got him, strike 3. 2 down in the 9th.
Perez unhappy with himself, but this is a guy that hardly ever walks, so he's going to be swinging. And that one off the plate, believe me, Soria knows that if it stays in the ballpark, Perez is going to be swinging. And the young man is, if possible, beside himself.
Oh, sadness has turned into anger.
He's a hot little fellow.
Struggling emotionally with the Royals. Comeback that hasn't been fruitful so far, as that's off of Duda. Foul ball, strike 1. But that really is the fun of baseball. I mean, certainly it's a 162 game season, but when you're young and you're at the game, you live and die with every pitch.
You can't tell that young man that Sox came in at 5-16. His Royals came in at 5-17. He doesn't care about that. All he cares about is the Royals win this game. That's why bringing your children to the ballpark makes baseball fans, and it's good for the game.
In the air, left side. Garcia gets there. Good night, Kansas City. 6-3. Sox with a win.
Soria with his third save in 4 attempts. He pitched around the leadoff double to Almonte, and a very happy Sox team. They hit 5 home runs tonight. This is a scene of hitting 6 home runs on opening day. It was a gorgeous night.